So I didn't expect this part of motherhood to hit me so hard. It's not about the sleepless nights or the recovery, but just watching my baby sleep and realizing, hey, these kids have their whole life ahead of them. It makes me so emotional. And especially because I'm turning 30 this year, like I had my time. I had my time in elementary, I had my time in school with my friends and growing up, going to prom, going to graduating, going to university, and just experiencing all these things, like even the little things like going to swimming classes, in arts and crafts, playing pretend families, like in kindergarten. It just makes you think like how time flies by so fast. And so really have to cherish these moments because, yeah, gonna be over in a blink. And it's also exciting because they are a blank slate. They get to start their whole lives and do basically whatever they want. And that's really exciting. And yeah, it's every first hasn't happened yet for them. Welcome back to the Thoughtful Advocate Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Teo, and this is just a life update. So yeah, surprise, baby Jack has been born, and yeah, we're really in that typical newborn phase where they sleep for 2 to 3 hours, they eat, they cluster feed, you try to sleep, and then by the time you can get to sleep, they're already awake again, ready to feed. So it's been difficult, and even more difficult because now we have two under two. We no longer have John's help really with the baby. It's mostly me and Jack, and John is with Ace. And that's also difficult in different ways. Yeah. So recently we went our first full family car ride and pretty exciting. For a couple weeks, we only been able to just go. It's either just John and Jack or John and Ace because I've been recovering from my C-section. So yeah, this was the first time all four of us sat together in the car seats all set up. And I didn't expect to feel any way that I was in the far back. So we bought a minivan upgrade from John had a Honda Civic, which I feel like is really popular with the guys, that he gave it up for a minivan. Very dad thing. But yeah, so 3 rows. I sit in the far back with Jack, and Ace sits in the middle, and then John sits in the front seat. So I just got a whole perspective of everything. Like I could see me and Jack, Ace, and John, and I was just thinking, this has been my longest life dream. Like when I was little, I always prayed. I would look out the window at the stars and I'd be like, God, please give me a family that will love me for who I am. And that's all I ever wanted. And I'm getting emotional now. And yeah, he came through. I now have my dream. And of course, I'm dreaming of more things because as humans, we aspire for more always. But this has been my longest life dream, to have a family, my own family. And so, yeah, if you're stuck in a deep, dark place like I was in, and it feels like you're never going to get out that rut, or that really deep, dark hole, you will. And one day you're going to look back at your life and be glad that you didn't take it. And yeah, that's me right now. I've been through like a lot of like depression and anxiety and suicidal episodes. And I'm just glad that I didn't end it when I intended it to. And that God had other plans for me because, yeah, my life is truly beautiful. It is hard, obviously, having kids, but it's honestly more beautiful than art. There's just like tiny moments in the car with Ace. He's more like aware and I think he knows like what cars and buses are and people. And so he's like pointing and waving and he's like this, like his hands like jello. It's really cute. And it's just so cool to see it being more curious and explore. My mom got him shoes. We've been getting him shoes, but every time we get him shoes, he outgrows them. So we finally got shoes that fit and we went to the park and he was able to walk around and explore. And funny because he thinks he can sit because he thinks like a little bit he has to walk. And yeah, there are other kids there and he wanted to play with the older kids. And I was like, oh my gosh, just giving me memories of like when I was little. And it's just so cool to see progress of her kid or child growing up and then learning so many new things and experiencing so many things. He went on the swing for the first time. He was scared, but second time around, yeah. And I feel this is going to be a cool memory for me. Probably not for them, but when I'm eating, I want to think about these times. And yeah, it's the research showing and so exciting. And I'm very excited for summer because it's starting to warm up already in spring. And I'm excited to go out with my family. I just feel like they come through in mysterious ways. Like we were really running on full for June. Yeah, we were really running on full for June because he's using all of Ace's old clothes. Newborns to 6 months-ish or 3 months. Like we saw a lot of constipation issues, and the stomach problems. So yeah, a lot of the clothes got thrown out because they were completely soiled. So we just didn't have time to get more. But out of the blue, John's sister, she was coming over to help us, and her friend just gave her a bunch of clothes sizes for Jack and Ace. And I was just blown away because we've never spoke to her or anything like that. Our only connection is, I guess, just through John's sister. Yeah, she was like, I had to get rid of these clothes, so she just rid of us. And I thought that was so sweet. She doesn't even know us. And yeah, that was just a huge gift when I've been struggling during this time because we're just getting so little sleep and your nervous system's out of whack. I'm just like, maybe the universe is on our side. And yeah, like it truly is in God, and I'm very thankful. And yeah, a lot of them are pretty new. There's a rain jacket, a bunch of pants, and shirts, and you just never know if the right car is going to be supported by the universe, and somehow things just work out. My sister-in-law, she's getting married this year, so I hope to see her friend and thank her in person because it was just super sweet of her. Other updates, I had a second C-section, so everyone, before I went in C-section, everyone was telling me like, oh, it's going to be better this time, the second time around. And I was like, okay. But I didn't have too high expectations because I knew like, first time giving birth was like hard. So interestingly enough, the contractions weren't as bad. I think because I knew what to expect. The first time it's really bad. You don't know how painful it's going to be, but this time, like I was like breathing through it, and I don't know, it just wasn't as bad. It's still hurting. And my contractions started at 11 p.m. the night before, and then basically I gave birth around like 8 a.m. So yeah, the contractions last a long time. Still painful, but I could breathe through this. Only downside to that, not exact, was I could really feel the epidural. We said they were going to be in the spinal block because it wasn't on scheduled date for the surgery. They just came beforehand. So had an epidural. What they do is they freeze your body. I don't remember this from last year. Maybe because my contractions were so painful. I was having them at the same time. I was getting my epidural. And I was also having contractions this time, but the freezing was so painful, like burns. And then you don't feel it. So once that freezing gets in, like you're pretty good. But yeah, it was just not good. And then things started slowing downhill from there. I couldn't take the highest painkiller they had. Just I forgot what it was called, like hydromorphine or something, because I had a bad reaction last time. Like I was swollen and itchy, and so I had to take a lower dose, and I felt the pain so much more this time. Yeah, you can struggle, but so deeply grateful and also be struggling at the same time. This is a hard time as a parent, first couple years. But yeah, both can exist, and sometimes you're going to feel super grateful, and sometimes you're going to be really stressed. As long as you bring yourself that gratitude and to that love, and have that reminder that this was once your dream. This is what once what you prayed for. I'm definitely looking for getting more sleep, but I'm really grateful. Then we say you see how they interact together, and Jack so far has no issues, like health-wise, which is really good. And yeah, it's been a lifesaver, and yeah, I'm just trying to be present and take it all in. But yeah, if you're related to this, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel or subscribe to my podcast, The Thoughtful Advocate, and always DM me, Thoughtful Advocate, on Instagram. Thanks for listening. Bye. Okay, so today's sponsor is Kind Laundry. Just kidding, they're not really a sponsor, but I do have an affiliate code. Kind Laundry use natural ingredients, and it actually comes in these sheets. So much more useful than liquid laundry detergent because that stuff gets messy. With Kind Laundry, you can bring this anywhere. It's literally in a box, pack in your suitcase, and it's that easy. You can get 10% off by using code ZeroWasteCute.